Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video I wanted to go over some products that I don't feel like I've got my money's worth out of. I did recently do an accompanying video for this of products I feel like I did get my money's worth out of. But of course there is obviously the flip side of that, and these are the products that I don't feel like I got my money's worth out of. So let's get into it. The first one is a product I'm not going to go into too much detail about, because if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while you will probably be sick of hearing how I don't like this eyeshadow palette, and it is of course the Too Faced Chocolate Bar. This is I think only the second high-end eyeshadow palette I've ever bought, and I just don't reach for it at all. It is a neutral palette, which is kind of my go-to on an everyday basis, but this is not one of the palettes in my collection that I reach for on an everyday basis. I tend to just take this one away on holiday with me for the pretty much sole reason that it's made out of tin. It should be more durable during travelling, and also if it did smash into pieces I wouldn't be overly upset. So I definitely haven't got my money's worth out of this. I think even no matter how many times I take it on holiday I probably won't. The next item is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and this is a holy grail concealer for a lot of people, but I just didn't like it. I got it in the shade Fair Beige, which I do think is ever so slightly too light for me, but I have tried concealers since that have been pretty much the exact same shade to this, and I've liked them more because they have been brightening but in a nicer way than this is. This is just too thick of a consistency. I just feel like this one sinks into the fine lines under my eyes immediately and creases. I don't like the doe foot on it. I feel like it is too big. I end up actually putting it onto my finger so then I can blend the concealer under my eyes that way. I just generally don't like it. I don't think I paid full price for it, but even at a discounted price, I think probably 20% off, I still don't feel like I've got my money's worth out of this because it just doesn't do what I need it to do as a concealer. I found that it was awful as well when I used it on blemishes, so yeah, definitely didn't get my money's worth out of this one, and it's so much so that I don't even want to try a different shade just to see if it was the shade that was the problem. The next item is another eyeshadow palette, and this is the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself palette. This was a limited edition palette from Tarte some while ago, and it is a foiled eyeshadow palette with just one brown matte up here and then a face highlighter in the middle. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this palette, but I'm definitely not getting my money's worth out of it because I only reach for this every so often and I solely use it for inner corner highlight. I don't know why, I just don't really like the shadows all over the lid, but the array of shades in it are absolutely gorgeous. The shades themselves are really nice, but I don't feel like I give it the love it deserves. And if I'm honest, I say I don't get my money's worth out of it. Again, I don't think I purchased this for full price, but still, it's probably my fault that I don't get my money's worth out of it because it is such a nice palette, but it does fall into this category, so I did feel like I needed to mention it. Then we have the Amika Dry Shampoo. Yet another product that I do love, but I don't think it justifies its price tag. I think a lot of websites sell this for around £20. I think I actually got this for less than 15 on Amazon, but since purchasing this I haven't seen it for that low of a price. It's just been £20 wherever I've seen it from. I have the tiniest of amounts left in this, and I'm just too scared to use it because I do love using it. I don't feel like I got as many uses out of this than any other of the dry shampoos in my collection, and I think it says it's 150 grams, which I think the other ones I have are. I don't know if it's maybe my fault in that I'm using a bit more because I like the scent of it, or more comes out with the type of sprayer that it is. I say I'm not too sure, but I just feel like this ran out awful quickly compared to the other ones that I have, and because of the price tag of it, I definitely don't feel like I got my money's worth out of it, and for that reason it does put me off purchasing another one, even though I do love the dry shampoo itself so much and it is probably the best one I've ever tried, but I just can't justify that price tag to not get that many uses out of it. The next item is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Yet another one that is a kind of a lot of people's holy grails, OG setting sprays. I just don't like it. I've got quite a few setting sprays in my collection, most of which are drugstore, and I prefer probably all of them over this one. I don't feel like this one works any better than any of the drugstore ones I have do. I have a real issue with the scent of this. I know it doesn't stick around for the longest of times, but just that initial application, I just can't bear the smell. I still have never put my finger on what the smell actually is, but I just don't like it, and I don't feel like it makes my makeup last any longer than any of the ones I have. I do actually find myself using this more to wet my eyeshadow brushes than actually as a setting spray, which for most people would probably use the cheaper option for just wetting their makeup brushes, but I just don't like putting it on my face, and I just don't like the sprayer either really. So I've definitely not got my money's worth out of this. I've still got quite a lot left, but I'm not using it for its intended purpose really, so I don't think I've got my money's worth in that respect. We then have something that technically I didn't buy, but if I would have bought it, I don't think I'd be getting my money's worth out of it, or I definitely wouldn't, and that is the Benefit Blush Bunch Set. Really hard to say, Blush Bunch Set. And this is a set of 2 bronzers, and I think the rest are all blushes. I believe this one is a kind of hybrid blusher slash highlighter. And this is one of the things that my husband bought me for Christmas, and since he bought me I haven't opened it. That is because I didn't want to open it until I had made the dent in some of the other blushes and bronzers in my collection. I'm currently using an exact one of these that I think I got in a Birchbox long ago, and I'm still making my way through it. I don't think I'm going to make much use of the Hoola Light. I have swatched this in store and I don't think it's the right shade for me. I think the normal Hoola bronzer is just the perfect bronzer shade for me, so I don't think I'm going to get much use out of this. And then this California is going to be too bright of a shade, so I don't think I'm going to reach for that an awful lot. But as of yet, I haven't used a single thing in it. I've literally opened it to have a look at all the shades, but I've not actually used anything. So at this present moment in time, definitely no money's worth is getting used out of this product because it hasn't been used. But I think when I do get around to using it and I do open it up, now looking at it, I don't think I'm going to use all the products inside. When I did ask him to buy this for me, I did think I would make good use out of all of them, and I did want to try a lot of these, so I still will get to try them, but I don't think I'm going to get full use out of them. I also actually noticed when I did open them up just to see what the colours look like, a lot of them had scents to them, which I didn't appreciate. I don't think the Hoola bronzer did, which the one I've got doesn't, but all of the blushes had quite strong scents to them, and I am quite sensitive to scents, so I don't know how that's going to work when actually applying them, but the scents were kind of floral or like fresh smelling, and they did smell quite strong. Again, I don't know if that's because I had probably all of them open on my lap at the same time, but when I come to actually using it I'll have to see. But say at this moment in time, I'm definitely not getting my money's worth out of this set. Then we have another eyeshadow palette, and this is the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. This again is a product that I do really like. I just don't think I can get my full use out of it, and that is because of the shades in it. It does have a lot of bright shades in here, and these are ones that I can't reach for. I can, but I choose not to reach for on a daily basis because for work I don't think I can get away with wearing really bright eyeshadow. And also when I look at this palette, I don't actually see an everyday look I can create from it at all, because all of the shades in here are highly pigmented and really bright, and even these kind of dark brown shades here are really dark, so there's not much in here that screams neutral apart from maybe this pale gold over here. So this is a palette that's kind of going to be for special occasions. I am wearing this palette on my eyes now, and I don't mind wearing brighter eyeshadows when I'm filming or even going on a night out, but because they're not an everyday occurrence, that's why I don't feel like I'm going to fully get my money's worth out of this. Don't get me wrong, it's a really reasonably priced eyeshadow palette and the quality of them is brilliant. All the shimmery metallic shades are so creamy and blend really nicely, and also the matte browns, even the darkest of browns, blend really nicely. So it is a really great palette, really great quality, and if you are into your bright eyeshadows and you do wear them more regularly, I would highly recommend this. But for me personally, I was drawn in by the colours. I think I got it on sale, and when I've actually sat down and gone to use it, I've realised it's not going to be one that I'm going to reach into an awful lot, which is a shame because it is so nice. But that's why it did kind of fall into this category, because if I'm honest, I'm probably not going to get my money's worth out of it. The next product is this tiny little guy here, and this is the Benefit Hello Happy Foundation. This is one that I did actually get a face application of when I was in Boots last year sometime, and I did wear it for the rest of the day and really enjoyed the foundation, so decided I would like to purchase it. But because I had a few open at that point, I didn't really want to purchase a full-size foundation. So when I seen they had a mini, I did order this online. I hadn't actually seen the size of this in person in the store when I was getting my colour match done, and I think if I would have seen the size of it, I wouldn't have purchased it. I did get this, I think, on Feel Unique. I don't think I've paid full price. Full price for this is, I believe, £8.50. I think I paid about £5 for it. But even for £5, I have definitely not got my money's worth out of this. I think I have used it no more than 3 times, and I can't get anything else out of it. So this does contain 6ml of product. A normal foundation contains 30ml, so this is a fifth of the size of a foundation bottle. I think it was just shy of half the price of the full size of this one. I think the full size of this, it was either £21 or £22. It might have been a bit more, but this was either half or a third of the price. And I just don't think it is justified for the cost, because, like I say, I don't think I got any more than 3 uses out of this. With all the full-size foundations I've got, I've used all of them at least 5 times each, and I don't think I've even taken the top off half of them. So I don't know if it's because of the packaging. I just found the product was really hard to squeeze out of here as well. And because the plastic is quite thick, it's quite hard to squeeze. So there might still be some product left in here, but I just couldn't get it out after numerous attempts, and even getting my husband to try and squeeze it out. So I definitely didn't get my money's worth out of this, and I can't actually believe they charge £8.50 for this tiny thing. I say it is a shame, because I did like the foundation when I did wear it, but it does put me off purchasing the full size just out of principle at this point. The next product we have is this The Balm Swing Eyeliner. This is a purchase that I kind of made late one night after a few gins, because I had heard good things about the eyeliner and wanted to try it, but at the time I didn't fully look into it properly, and I hadn't appreciated that it was this kind of eyeliner. I just presumed it was a normal felt tip eyeliner as opposed to one that you dip in and out, and I've only used this a few times because I find that the formula is just too wet. I don't know if you can see the amount of product that is actually on the brush there, but I make terrible mistakes with this eyeliner. I have ruined numerous eye looks because I just don't have a steady enough hand to actually use this properly. That is possibly not the fault of the product, that is probably just me being rubbish at applying eyeliner, but for that purpose I haven't got my money's worth out of it, because I just don't reach for it because I know I'm going to mess up an eye look. If I was the kind of person who would just wear eyeliner without any eyeshadow underneath, this might be a good product for me. But because I am usually putting it on eyeshadow that I've usually spent way longer than I should have done actually applying, it is a shame that I always ruin my eye looks with this eyeliner. So again, it's probably user error, but I don't think I'm going to get my money's worth out of this product because I just don't find myself enjoying using it. And then the final product to mention is these Jeffree Star Mini Velour Liquid Lipsticks. This was part of the, I think it's called Send Nudes set of minis that I picked up, and it contained 8 of his nude mini liquid lipsticks, and I believe it was £45. And I've kind of worked it out based on how much each of these say they contain, which is 1.93ml. And then we have one of the full sizes here, which contains 5.6ml. So it is around, I think, a third of the product containing, give or take. My maths is not my strongest skill. And I just feel like these kind of dry out a lot quicker than this one does. I've used this God knows how many times at this point, and this is still, feels like it's got a lot of product left in there, and it doesn't seem to be showing any sign of drying out. Whereas this shade here, which is Gemini, it's probably my most reach for shade, but just taking the brush out there, there's hardly any product deposited on there at all, and I don't think I've used it that many times, that it should have run out by now. I've had that with a couple of the shades as well. This shade Rose Matter here, I've used this probably half of the amount of times that I've used the Gemini shade, and this one is also already drying out, so I don't know if it's the formula drying out or they are running out of liquid, but I just feel like I would have probably got my money's worth more out of picking a couple of shades I liked of the full size one than purchasing the Vault. There were a couple of shades in the Vault that I have passed on to friends because they weren't the right shades for me, but that is the reason why I bought the Vault, because I did want to try the different shades, because after loving this one I couldn't actually pinpoint another shade that I wanted to try, so that was why I purchased the Vault. Kind of my fault in that respect, but I did think that I would get more uses out of the minis, and I think at the time I purchased it I did kind of break it down cost per mil, and I was paying the exact same price if I'd have purchased so many of these to equate to the price of one of them, if that makes sense. So I don't think I saved anything, which I wasn't expecting to. I did purchase it to actually try the different shades, but I just wish that I got more products out of these before they dried out, or more uses out of them before they dried out. And instead I do wish I would have just made my mind up and purchased a couple more of the bigger ones, because I think these are £16 each. So now that I know which shade I like, I probably would have been better purchasing just 2 full size of those shades. But again, sort of double-edged sword in that I wouldn't have known which shades I'd have liked if I wouldn't have tried these. So I'm kind of on the fence with this one, but I don't feel like I got my full £45 worth out of the actual full Vault itself. So that's why I've kind of included it in this video, but it is borderline as to whether it should be in here, because it did kind of fit its purpose. So that is it for all the items that I feel like I didn't get my money's worth out of them. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks.